Imagine seeing an elephant for the very first time in your life. Not in a photograph, not on a screen, but standing right there in front of you, enormous and defecating and impossibly real, close enough to feel its breath. That is exactly what happened on this day in 1874, and the joy that erupted in that moment has never really stopped. Stay with us, because this is the Lena One, the story of the day America decided that wonders should be available to everyone love. It is May 10th, 1874. Philadelphia is the most sophisticated city in America. It is a city of churches and universities, of cobblestone streets and elegant townhouses, of people who consider themselves thoroughly worldly and well-informed. And yet on this bright spring morning, thousands of those thoroughly worldly Philadelphians are doing something they have never done before in their lives. They are lining up to see a hippopotamus. The Philadelphia Zoo, the first zoo in the United States of America, is opening its gates, and the city is not even remotely prepared for what it will feel like. The story of the Philadelphia Zoo actually begins long before that May morning. It begins with a group of scientists and civic leaders who share a radical idea. In 1859, the Academy of Natural Sciences helped charter the Zoological Society of Philadelphia, whose mission was surprisingly modern for its time. They do not simply want to put animals on display for entertainment. They want to create a place of scientific study, of conservation, of education, a place where ordinary people can encounter the natural world and come away changed by it. It takes 15 years to make it real. The Civil War interrupts everything. Funding is difficult. The work is slow and complicated. But on the morning of May 10th, 1874, the gates swing open at last. And 3,000 people walk through them on that very first day. Now here is where the story gets truly wonderful. The Philadelphia Zoo opens with a collection of 813 animals, representing 228 species. There are lions and tigers, bears and bison, monkeys and gazelles, exotic birds from every corner of the earth. But it is the smaller moments that tell the real story of that day. Think about what it meant for a child growing up in 1874 to see a giraffe for the first time. There were no nature documentaries, no wildlife photographs in the newspaper, no internet to pull up a video in seconds. If you had never traveled to Africa, and almost no one had, a giraffe existed only as a description in a book. And then one morning, there it was, real, alive, looking right back at you. That is not a small thing. That is a moment that changes how you understand the world. Here is something worth sitting with for a moment. In its very first year of operation, the Philadelphia Zoo welcomed 228,000 visitors. In a city of fewer than 700,000, that means roughly 1 in 3 Philadelphians walks through those gates in year one alone. Today, the Philadelphia Zoo is still open, still welcoming families through those same historic gates, now more than 150 years later. It is home to more than 1,300 animals and welcomes over 1 million visitors every single year. And in the century and a half since that first elephant drew its first crowd of astonished Philadelphians, more than 800 zoos and aquariums have opened across the United States, collectively welcoming more than 180 million visitors every single year. That is more people than visit all of America's national parks combined. All of it traces back to one spring morning in Philadelphia, when someone decided that wonder should not be a privilege reserved for the well-traveled few. The world of zoos has changed enormously since 1874. The best modern zoos are not simply collections of animals. They are centers of conservation, scientific research, and species preservation, working to protect creatures whose habitats are disappearing at a frightening rate. The Philadelphia Zoo itself has been a pioneer in animal welfare, introducing natural habitat enclosures, groundbreaking veterinary care, and conservation programs that have helped bring several species back from the devil of extinction. And through it all, the most important thing the zoo does has never changed. It puts a child in front of something magnificent, and it lets wonder do the rest. That is what began on May 10th, 1874. And it has never stopped. So here's a question worth carrying with you today. Do you remember the first time you stood in front of an animal that took your breath away? The first time the natural world reached through the ordinary and grabbed you by the heart. Maybe it was a lion. Maybe it was a whale in an aquarium that seemed to fill the entire ocean. Maybe it was something as small as a butterfly landing on your hand on a summer afternoon. Those moments of pure wonder are among the most precious things we carry. They remind us that the world is bigger, more beautiful, and more astonishing than our daily routines ever let us remember. And here's something I want to ask you today. Have you ever thought about writing down the stories of wonder from your own life? The moments that stopped you in your tracks, the experiences that changed how you saw everything, the memories you want your children and grandchildren to know about, in your own words, from your own heart? Those stories are treasures that only you can give. The adventures you had, the places you saw, the moments that made you who you are. Nobody else on earth can tell them the way you can. I want you to look in the description below right now, because there is a free family story writing guide waiting for you, completely at no cost, because your stories deserve to be told, and the people who love you deserve to hear them in your own words. Do not let another day pass without capturing something only you can give. And if today's story brought a smile to your face or a memory to your heart, please share it with someone you love. That is exactly what History Sparks is here for. Join our wonderful community by hitting that subscribe button right now. Every single day, we bring you a story from history that will surprise you, delight you, or remind you of something you forgot you knew. The world is full of wonder. We will keep bringing it to you, one story at a time.